Hello and welcome back to part 3 of our Sugar Beach tank top crochet along. In the last video, we created the V-neck and added width to our work. In this video, we'll add length to the top while decreasing at the sides, while continuing to increase at the center. This will keep our edges nice and straight while maintaining the chevron pattern of the top. We're picking up where we left off at section 3 of the pattern. This is a color changing row, so be sure to carry your non-working yarn up into this row by twisting it around your working yarn. To begin, we're going to start by chaining 4 just like every other row. Remember that this counts as a double crochet plus a chain 1. We'll skip 1 stitch and then front post double crochet into the next stitch. Next, we're going to make our first decrease of this row. To do this, we'll double crochet 3 together to decrease our stitch count by 2. This decrease, along with the one that'll be placed on the end of our panel, will cancel out the increases that we'll continue to make at the center of our work. After making your double crochet 3 together, front post double crochet into the next stitch, then double crochet into the following stitch. We're working post stitches since this is a color changing row. Keep alternating between front post double crochet and regular double crochet until you reach your center chain space from the previous row. You should end on a front post double crochet stitch. Next, we'll make an increase in our center chain space, just like we were doing in part 2 of the pattern. So we'll make 2 double crochets into the chain space, chain 1, then place another 2 double crochets into that same chain space. Remember, this increase effectively gets canceled out due to the decreases on the edges of our panel. So even though we're still increasing in the center of our work, our stitch count will remain the same because of those decreases at the sides. After making our increase, we're going to front post double crochet into the next stitch, then double crochet into the following stitch. We'll keep alternating between front post double crochet and regular double crochet stitches until we only have 4 stitches left before reaching our chain space at the end of the row. Once you only have 4 stitches left before that chain space, you'll double crochet 3 together to create the second increase on our work, to match the first one that we did at the beginning of the row. After completing your decrease, you'll front post double crochet into the next stitch. Now we're going to complete the eyelet just like we've done at the beginning and end of each row by chaining 1, skipping a stitch, and then double crocheting into that final stitch. Our first lengthening row is done. Your stitch count should be the same as it was at the end of section 2 of the pattern. For our next row, we're going to start the same as always by chaining 4, which counts as a double crochet and chain space. Then we'll skip a stitch and we'll double crochet into the next stitch. Next, we're going to work a decrease by double crocheting 3 together, just like we did in the previous row. After completing this decrease, we'll double crochet into the next stitch and into each stitch across until reaching our center chain space. You should know what's coming up next. We're going to complete our increase the same way that we have in the previous rows with 2 double crochets, chain 1, and another 2 double crochets worked into that center chain space. After completing our increase, we'll double crochet into the next stitch and into each one across until we only have 4 stitches left before reaching the chain space at the end of our row, just like we did last row. Once we only have 4 stitches before the chain space, we're going to decrease by double crocheting 3 together. And then after completing our double crochet 3 together, we'll just double crochet into the next stitch. We'll chain 1, and then double crochet into that final stitch. Although we're not changing colors this row, make sure that you're carrying your non-working strand of yarn up through your work by twisting it with your working strand so that we prevent any floats or loose ends of yarn sticking out from the edges of our panel. We've just completed our second lengthening row of the pattern. You can see that in the first section of the pattern where we're increasing, the stitches stick out, but now with these decreases on the sides, it's keeping our rows nice and straight. Repeat the previous row twice more for a total of 3 rows using this step. You should have 4 lengthening rows in total by now. And after working these 4 rows, you should really start to see that straight edge taking place thanks to those decreases that we've been making on the sides. From here, you can continue repeating the color-changing lengthening row, followed by 3 rows of regular lengthening rows until your shirt is the desired length. That center chain space in your work is the lowest point that the bottom of your tank top will be, so feel free to make it as cropped or as long as you like. I'm just going to stop after doing these 4 lengthening rows, but if you want to make yours a little bit longer, just keep repeating until you've reached your desired length. With that, we're all done part 3 of our Sugar Beach crochet along. I hope you had fun adding extra length to your tank top. Next week, we'll work on filling out the left and right corners to finish up our first panel. See you then, and happy crocheting!